Where do you see the state of the sport of amateur mixed martial arts and its development in at the international level in the next 2 to 6 years? Because you have an interesting perspective. You know, you're working internationally with all these other stakeholders and so on. When you look ahead, what do you see in the next 2 to 6 years?
Let me come back to the one of the parts of my remit, development of national task force. First of all, it's coaches, of course. Everything starts from a coach. Coach sets the direction. The athletes obviously go his way and either reinforce his misconceptions or flourish and become the great athletes. So coaches is everything. Coaches is everything. We launched the process of coach certification. There are hundreds of thousands of coaches working in mixed martial art around the globe, yes, but we want them to be certified. What does it mean? We want them excuse me, we want them to share our ideology. After that, we want them to share this new ethos, which we're trying to install. We want them to be on one page with us, fully assimilated, excuse me, with IMMAF vision and long-term agenda. So far, we have almost 1,500 certified coaches in the world. It's roughly from 100 national federations, which we have, it's roughly 10, 15 coaches per country. Which is not much, but we're looking to increase them, and that will increase exponentially. In 2 years' time, we want 5 times more. So we want 5,000 coaches in the world, which would, be about, 50 coaches per country. That's enough. That's already enough to create the massive changes. In 5 years' time, will be 20 times more, so roughly 200 coaches per nation. I mean, certified, fully on board with our agenda, fully delivering our long-term plan and vision. Interesting fact that more than 50% of all the certified coaches so far have another qualification in 2 or more combat sports. Other core sports, which means the guys are looking to pick up additional qualification, and that collaboration and cooperation with other core sports couldn't be stopped, no matter how protective other international federations act or behave. As for youth participation, we started Youth World Championship with 250 participants 3 years ago. Then we got 350. The last month we have almost 500 kids. It means in 2 years' time, youth MMA, amateur and mixed martial art will take over the world. We definitely will have continental championships from next year for kids, and it's only going to grow. It's only will be growing and growing. In terms of recognition of a sport, yes, I have no doubts it will be fully recognized as a sport in 2 years. So yeah, that's my prediction. That's part of my vision, and which we're working at. It's tough, I know. Actually, you asked me the question earlier. What is the most challenging aspect of my job?
Right.
I believe I didn't answer it. Multitasking and keeping in mind the big picture. That's for me always a bit of a struggle. I wake up and I try to detach from little things I was doing the day before, or I was doing in particular nation or national federation, and try to see the big picture. Well, development is a certain progression anyway, which starts from, let's say, in any country with a group of enthusiasts set in a club, then appears the network of clubs, then inter-club events, then comes into play national sports authority. They may look at you, at these guys, and say, okay, guys, we support you. Or, sorry, not yet, because you have to prove us that you're a sport. And definition of the sport, which is presented by top organizations like Olympic Committee and GAIFs, a definition of a sport is something which has strong competition structure, which has youth appeal, and which has educational values. So For me, as I said, it's a multitasking because every country is different. In some countries, we need to tap into build a system to build in competition structure. They have everything else in place. For other countries, we focus on youth appeal, trying to train and educate their pool of youth coaches and or a system in organizing the structure of some youth events. And of course, this educational values is more a bit of a explanation, bringing even national authorities on board by explaining them what is the educational values of our sport. So that, yeah, that's probably the most challenging part, that in every country it's different set of tasks we're trying to achieve.